What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of For the Love of Wrestling. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everyone is doing good today. See everybody starting to file in for the stream. Got a lot to do here today, so we're going to try and get right into it. As you know, we didn't do NWA Powerrr yesterday because we were trying to get caught up on everything. So first thing we're going to discuss is NWA Powerrr, which aired and dropped a new episode yesterday, Tuesday on the CW app. This still part of their Hard Times tapings that they did. And it kicked off with tag team action as the kids took on the Slime Balls. Fun tag team action here. We had one of the Slime Balls tried to do the spit handshake with a member of the kids. One of the kids was like really hesitant, so it was forced a little bit later in the match. The kids definitely showed some inexperience here in taking a little bit of time to go for pinfalls and such. Even when the moves that they gave weren't that devastating to where it would take stuff out of them, they were just a little too cocky and arrogant and would kind of pose and taunt before going for a pinfall. At the end of the day, it didn't matter though, because the kids still picked up the victory. But I definitely feel it's something that the team of the kids needs to work on there. You deliver a high impact move or a devastating move, you don't waste time taunting to the crowd. You go straight in for the pinfall. Victory is everything. We then had a promo with Austin Idol regarding the upcoming match between AJ Kazana and Anthony Andrews. And whoever won got to pick a member of the opposing crew to send away from the NWA forever. They would have to leave the National Wrestling Alliance forever. So the whole promo here with Austin Idol was about the fact that it could be him. And Austin Idol saying, no, there's no way it's me. I'm not a part of the contract, blah, blah, blah. And the interviewer is telling him, you need to read the fine print because you are eligible. We then go straight to that match between AJ Kazana and Anthony Andrews. Some intense action between these two men. There's been a long-standing rivalry here for the last few months within the NWA. Excuse me. AJ Kazana is able to get the victory here. And they go down the line trying to figure out who from Anthony Andrews' side should be evicted from the NWA. Anthony Andrews, Austin Idol, or Zion are the three choices there. And they end up deciding on Anthony Andrews. I had a little bit of an issue with this because I feel if you're going to taunt and tease the possibility that Austin Idol is going to leave, that should have been followed up on. I don't understand the bait and switch here from Billy Corgan and the NWA. You're going to give us this whole promo about how he could be the one to go. His guy loses, and then he still keeps his job? Like, it made no sense to me. Only thing I can think of is that Anthony Andrews is either moving on to a different territory or he's been signed by another company. And this was basically his farewell in the NWA anyways. But even still, if that's the fact, then the backstage promo shouldn't have been just Austin Idol. It should have been all three of them. Main event was Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch taking on the Southern Six inside of a steel cage. This was a bloody, brutal, and chaotic main event. Went black and white about halfway through because the blood. The CW not wanting to show the blood on their network, even though it's an app. Had a little bit of a problem with that, but it is what it is. It's not the first time they did that. Go back and watch the EC3 Matt Cardona death match that they did. They did the same thing there. During the match, Eric Smalls, the vertically challenged gentleman who's kind of formed an alliance recently with Knox and Murdoch, climbed to the top of the cage and hit a maneuver onto one of the members of the Southern Six. This brought out Rolando, who is Smalls' main rival. Knox and Murdoch get the victory here when Murdoch escapes the cage. All in all, a solid show. Like I said, there's definitely a few things here that I would have booked a little bit better. Hiding the weakness of the kids' inexperience. The Austin Idol promo, and then him not being the one to get sent packing from the NWA. The black and white for the blood when you're not on a normal television network, you're being presented via an app. You know, those things I would have changed, but all in all, a solid show. 7 out of 10 for me when it comes to NWA Powerrr this week. What do you guys think? Any of you guys see NWA Powerrr? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're going to take a quick, well, not a quick break, because that went pretty quickly. So we're going to throw to our trailer for the Gary Hebert documentary that'll be coming up hopefully by the end of the week here. Mother's Day, hopefully no later than, from what James has been saying. But check out this trailer for the documentary he's been working on his uncle Gary Hebert, a former professional hockey player. And then we'll come back and we'll get into AEW Dynamite. Stay tuned.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that, that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player. Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
You can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
And we are back. Again, that documentary, hoping to be completed by Mother's Day. Be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to J Hebert 95, J Hebert Side 95 on YouTube for all of that. All right, so let's get into the AEW Dynamite, which I know a lot of you people are waiting on. Show kicked off with Tony Khan addressing the fans from the offices of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talks about how he's not cleared to travel because of him being in a neck brace. So he's got to stay there and basically run the show remotely. His feed then cuts, and we go to the Massey brothers live in the production truck. They say that they are going to be in charge as the EVPs. They say that they're not fired from their attack last week because of ironclad contracts. You guys already know where this is going with me. I'm just going to try to move on a little bit. They then throw to a brand new opening that only features them, Okada, and Jack Perry. Including Jack Perry mouthing to the camera, "Go cry me a river." So now they've made this faux opening. Who knows how long they're going to run with it, with that shot at CM Punk in it. First legitimate segment of the night, Swerve Strickland comes out and he talks about being a fighting champion, how he had 3 matches in a week, defending his title. He begins to run down the EVPs. He wants to know who he's going to face at AEW Double or Nothing on Memorial Day weekend. And guess who pops up on the Tron? That's right, the Massey brothers. They tell him that there's a Canadian at the gorilla position ready to come out, going to be your challenger for Double or Nothing. Of course, a lot of people are expecting Kenny Omega because they're in Winnipeg. We know he's supposed to return. Out comes Christian Cage. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Christian Cage. I love me Captain Charisma. And he's in the middle of probably his greatest run of all time right now. He goes out there with the rest of the patriarchy and he pops Swerve with the microphone. And then the rest of the patriarchy begin to beat down Swerve Strickland. Title belt is on the ground. Christian locks in the kill switch and drops it, landing Swerve's face on the title belt. Christian Cage then cuts a venomous promo talking about Swerve and his daughter and how he's going to be the father that his daughter can respect and love. Again, just great heel work from Christian. I know a lot of people are already criticizing why the hell is Christian Cage the challenger? And it's like, dude, okay. Number one, you need a great heel to go up against Swerve here. Christian is doing that right now. Like I said, he's in the middle of probably his greatest run of all time. You also know Swerve isn't going to lose the title at Double or Nothing. So giving him an opponent that he can easily defeat without killing the cred for, that's imperative. We still have to get to some strike that. I was going to say we need to get to more Christian and Edge stuff, Adam Copeland, but they've already killed that feud. So we don't want to go back there yet. We don't want to see them together until they're ready to reunite, which we know they will. But we just let it cook. Christian and Swerve is going to be a banger. And the promos the next few weeks leading up to it are going to be insane. We then had an Adam Copeland House of Black video package. Ironic, coming right off the heels of Christian. We get an Edge segment, Adam Copeland. Leads into our TNT title match, Adam Copeland versus a member of the House of Black. We end up with Buddy Matthews coming out to take Adam Copeland on. And this is a barn burner of a match. Both men really brought out the best in each other. Spear from Adam Copeland for the win. Post-match, there's some more mind games being played from the House of Black and Malachi Black. Buddy Matthews is laid out on the ground. Adam Copeland has got him set up for a concerto. And Malachi Black is like, do it. Do it. Trying to get Adam Copeland to give in to his darkness. He resists the temptation. Lights go out and Malachi and Buddy disappear. We find out at Double or Nothing it will be Malachi Black versus Adam Copeland for the TNT title. Looking like it'll be good. Cool. We then get Samoa Joe versus Isaiah Cassidy. And this match went way too long for what it needed to. Joe wins. This should have been a squash match as a way to keep Joe strong after losing the title to Swerve. There was no reason for this to be a 10-minute match. Isaiah has just gone down the crapper here ever since getting back with Private Party and leaving Matt and Jeff Hardy. I'm just good. There was no rhyme, no reason for this match, and it went way longer than it needed to be. We then had Sky Blue cut a promo, issuing a challenge to Willow Nightingale. And then Orange Cassidy comes to the ring and cuts a promo regarding Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. He tells the fans basically that, he'd love to get everybody in the ring, give the people what they want, but that's never going to happen. He says Chuck Taylor is never going to wrestle again. Trent comes out, blames Orange Cassidy for turning what happened to Chuck Taylor into being about him again and taking the focus off the people it needs to be. Orange Cassidy charges up to Trent. A brawl almost begins, but security gets out there and separates them. Chris Statlander comes out there trying to get involved. And then out of nowhere, Don Callis comes out. And considering the heel that Callis is, you would think he would go to Trent Beretta. But he went to Orange Cassidy. And he kind of pulled him in. He whispered in Orange Cassidy's ear. And Orange Cassidy and Don Callis walked off together. This is a story I'm interested in following. We then go backstage and Renee Paquette is discussing things with the Massey brothers. And they say they've been on TV enough tonight. So they turn things over to the scapegoat, Jack Perry, who cuts a promo. Don't ask me what he said. I don't remember. I tuned it out. We then had Chris Jericho versus Katsuyori Shibata for the FTW Championship, FTW rules. It was a fun match for the most part. Some big spots, some entertainment there. There was a spot where Shibata had a trash can over him, yet he still managed to back Jericho in a corner and beat him with the trash can while it was over his body. That was kind of fun. It was good until the ending. Big Bill came in after trying to cut a promo with Jericho last week, saying he wants to sit under the learning tree of Chris Jericho. Big Bill came in with the big boot, took out Shibata. Jericho picks up the win here. Taz is furious because Jericho still has the FTW title. We then had a Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Stokely Hathaway promo. Willow basically here accepting the challenge that was laid out by Sky Blue. Claudio Castagnoli versus Brian Cage, another fun match here. Claudio got the win after the big swing, and then he locked in the sharpshooter in Canada. Little homage to the Hart family, of course. Got a Rocky Romero promo, basically talking about how he's going to stay out of all the drama with the best friends. He's looking to get some championship gold. He's been a champion everywhere else. He hasn't been a champion in AEW yet. He wants to be a champion there. Issues a challenge to Kyle O'Reilly, I believe it was. Then had Mariah May versus Serena Deeb. This was a phenomenal women's match. Great back and forth action here. Serena Deeb dominated for a good chunk of it, but Mariah May held her own. Got some great shots and moves in onto Serena Deeb. Serena had her locked in the Canadian Maple Leaf. Toni Storm threw the towel in because she didn't want her to get injured anymore. Then went backstage and Renee with Adam Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly. Nice little fun promo here. Talking with Adam Copeland. O'Reilly came in, basically tells Adam Copeland, if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. And keeps staring at the TNT title the whole time. And Cope's like, I'm over here. The show ends with Kenny Omega's in-ring return. Very passionate promo from Kenny Omega talking about diverticulitis. Excuse me. Very passionate promo from Kenny Omega talking about the diverticulitis, what it is, how it affects him. The fact that if he had gone into the hospital 24 hours later, he could have died. How he may have to have a colostomy bag for the rest of his life. And then he turns his attention to the Elite. Talking about, how he started off talking about how he hadn't been able to watch AEW for a while because how he'd watch and he'd get a shake in his hands. And it was because he was going through withdrawals. So then when he turns his attention to the Elite, here comes Okada out. Because he's mentioned the fact that, there's still one more EVP in the company. Okada tells him that Okada is now the best bout machine, not Kenny Omega. Perry comes out, attacks Kenny Omega. So we just had this entire 4-minute almost promo about how Kenny Omega, if he takes a gut punch, could literally die, and how he almost died. And here comes Jack Perry to assault him. Now, yes, I understand the suspension of belief here that if this is happening, Omega's probably healthy enough to do this stuff, and maybe he's making it sound a little bit worse for the cameras. But still, why would you engage in that type of move and an attack immediately after saying that? And then for Omega to get his revenge on Perry, he hits him with the half and half suplex. So he's giving a maneuver in the ring. He does immediately go and grab his midsection afterwards, selling the effects like that. And guess who comes out at this point? That's right, the Massey brothers. Trying to back off Okada and Perry. What are you doing? What are you doing? Omega's trying to get back on his feet, ends up putting each of his hands in the Massey's hands. So they hit the BTE trigger, laying out Omega to end the show. Again, the Masseys were everywhere on this show. That definitely brought the value of it down a little bit for me. Doing an attack on somebody who just literally said that they almost died brings it down for me. Having said person execute a wrestling maneuver in defense or not after just saying they almost died brings it down for me. I give this episode of Dynamite a 5 out of 10. Better than last week, which I gave a 1. But not by much. I mean, thankfully, the rest of the in-ring action over the course of the night saved things. Mariah May versus Serena Deeb, Claudio versus Cage, Jericho and Katsuyori Shibata, etc. The worst match of the night was the Joe match because, like I said, that match went way longer than it needed to be. That match should have been done in under 5 minutes, hell, under 3 minutes. But it wasn't. What did you guys think of AEW Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. Take just a moment to run our watch-along trailer. Again, I haven't re-edited it. It still has Spring Breaking in it. But with Under Siege coming up tomorrow and Backlash on Saturday, don't know if I'll get to re-edit it before then. And this is the last episode of the week. So we will be back on Monday with a fresh trailer with all those things out of it. But for now, just eliminate Spring Breaking. Everything else that you're about to see is coming up across the multiverse of media in our watch-along coverage. We'll be right back.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
And we are back. Safet joining the chat. What's up, Safet? 5 out of 10 from him as well. So there you have it. It's not just me. All right, let's go ahead and run down these shills here real quick, and then we will get out of here. If you missed it yesterday, go back in the archives on both my channel and the Simple Man's brand. Check out Simply Predicting for Backlash. We gave our thoughts on the matches that have been announced for that. Coming up this evening, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern. Again, we will be simply predicting TNA Under Siege. Don't want to miss out on that. Disappeared on me. But we also have our watch-along coverage for TNA Under Siege. That'll be tomorrow, kicking off at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. We then go into Saturday, and we've got a fun-filled, action-packed day of content on Saturday. Kicking things off, of course, with our Backlash watch-along event. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern is going to be the kickoff times for that, because the WWE hates us on the West Coast. Then about an hour after that goes off the air, we're going to be doing a conversation with myself, Walter Cruz, and Noah Foster. Who will be the next champion? We're going to try to, as quickly as possible, go through these championships and discuss who will be the next champion for each of them. Hoping that Backlash will be off the air by 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. That way we can begin that show at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. That is our goal, because we need to get all those championships in and done before we hit you with a retro double feature of the dads not always on wrestling, as we shift gears for our May the 4th Be With You coverage. Kicking off at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, with the return episode of Dad's Not Always on Wrestling from May the 4th, 2020, where Jeff and I ranked all 11 theatrically released live action Star Wars movies. And then following that up with the show from last year, where Jeff and I discussed our top 10 favorite characters from the galaxy far, far away. That, of course, all leads into open mic night, game night, Star Wars trivia in the style of Jeopardy, kicking off at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern. Your host for open mic night, myself, of course, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. Your host for the game night, Renegade Trebek. That's right. I'm the one who wrote all the questions. I'm the one who came up with all the categories. So I will be the host reading all that stuff off to the contestants. You're not going to want to miss out on that. As a matter of fact, we are still looking for one contestant to join us for Star Wars trivia. If you would like to be a contestant, it is a $10 donation via Super Chat to the CASA YouTube channel. You can either Super Chat it now before we go off the air here. You can Super Chat it during Simply Predicting tonight, or you can Super Chat it during Under Siege tomorrow. We'd like to have our contestants locked in prior to Backlash on Saturday, but if we have to, we'll push during that to try to get our final contestant locked in as well. But we do still need one contestant to challenge Emmanuel Dominguez and Josh Mansfield. All that being said, that's going to just about wrap things up for me here today on For the Love of Wrestling. I want to thank everybody for joining me and tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And until tonight on Simply Predicting, I will catch you guys later.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you.